Hi, this is Aaron Gilbert. Tonight we're having our Be Ready Academy meeting. It's here at my house, and we're going to be talking tonight about the Dutch oven, the apple box oven, which we have a guest speaker tonight that's going to be talking, that's going to explain to us how the Dutch oven came about, how he designed it, and all the experience he's had with making these ovens for years. Now he's happy to share that same technology with us. So I'd like to, without further ado, turn the time over to Corbett Stevens. Stevens, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I got your name right. Good deal. And then I will. All right. Go ahead.
Can I guess that means I can't sit down. So I guess this started for us when we wanted to try to find a better way to do it, an alternative way to be able to cook if something was to happen. Sometimes I think information can be dangerous, and too much information is too much information. And so I was always worried that, you know, if there was a major event, that the gas would be off, the power would be off, the water would be off, sewers wouldn't work, and what are you going to do? And so you can have a generator, but a generator, as soon as you fire up a generator, everybody knows you got a generator. And how do you store enough fuel to make it last to be able to cook, number one. And so we started looking at apple box ovens only because it was an alternative way to cook. And Dutch ovens work, they work great, but they take a lot of charcoal. And so as we tried to research it and figure out another way or a better way to do it, we came across apple box oven. You can find them on the internet. And people put down a piece of tinfoil on the ground. They take soup cans and fill them with rocks so that they're stable. And then they took a cooking rack out of your oven and put it on top of those. And then you put your food on the cook rack and you put your charcoal right on the tinfoil that's right on the ground. And then you put a box over the top of it. And all the box does is insulate it so that it maintains that heat around your food. And so we kind of liked the idea, but I didn't like the idea of cooking on the ground with the dog. And so we started trying to develop a way to do it so that we could do it on the picnic table. For us, this is probably 5th or 6th generation. You know, we tried a way to do it and figured out something better. We took a couple of 9x13 cake pans and put them bottom to bottom and screwed them together, punched holes in the sides of them, and then put a cooling rack across the top of one, and then just set that on the ground with the charcoal inside the upper pan, so the bottom pan would help keep it from getting too hot on a picnic table. We tried them with longer legs, we tried them with thinner sheet metal, we tried them a bunch of different ways, and this is what we came up with for something that we really liked, and it seems to work really well. In the summertime, we'll cook every hot meal that we eat in the summertime. We cook on the back porch out of one of these. We love the way that it works, and it doesn't heat up the house, and it's doing the math. It's actually cheaper than running an electric oven. You know, as long as you can buy the charcoal right, and it teaches the kids, you know, a skill. They can go out and start the charcoal, and we've taught them how to start a fire with flint and steel and charred cloth, and we make our own charred cloth, and we got a couple of 1,000-foot rolls of twine where they go and they make their own little nest, and they, you know, our 20-year-old daughter, we go to ward campouts and stuff like that, and she's the one that teaches the fire starting to all the little kids that are interested in doing it, so that they'll go off and burn down the woods, right? But anyways, this is kind of what we've developed, and one of the things that we like the best about it is that you don't have to relearn how to cook, because all it is a box, and all you're doing is containing the heat around your food, just like you do in the oven in the house. And I use my wife's Pyrex, and you wouldn't dare do that in a Dutch oven, you know, because you're putting the charcoal right on your pans, right? And so this is just, I mean, it's a good way to do it. This pan has been going now for probably half hour.
Oh, yes.
I mean, the bottom's hot to touch, but there's a hole in the bottom.
And it's currently at 350 degrees, and it's in there for about 30 minutes already. And there's only 12 briquettes.
But there's a hole in the bottom of it so that it can draft, so that it can get air to the charcoal and you don't smother the charcoal.
Show me again. Over your draft. Okay, I got it.
And then
We need to take the lid off the lasagna. So we have lasagna currently cooking. You guys want some? Sandy, would you mind giving me a hand real quick? We're going to take this lid off. Whew. Yeah, but we need to also take the top off so we can melt the cheese and stuff. So go ahead. Now we're going to melt the cheese. And put the lid back on. See the charcoal is still going, and then keep her going.
And the charcoals
With,
are pretty dispersed in there. Still get good heat when they're spread out like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. That's just a tailpiece off of a sink.
Yeah.
We've taken and
Hot rod shook heavy.
okay.
So is there a hole in the top too?
Yeah.
Set that
Yeah.
pipe on?
And so you can actually, instead of taking the top of the box off to check on your food, with a flashlight you can pull the chimney off and just look through the hole to check on your food, right? But that was his. I tried to get him to get a paper towel roll, but he didn't have an empty one. But we'll take a paper towel roll and spray glue up to the inside of the paper towel roll, and take a piece of tin foil and roll it up on a wooden dowel, and then spray the glue on the inside of the paper towel roll and slide the tin foil in, and then just roll it so that it sticks to the inside of the paper towel roll, and then fold it over top and bottom, wrap the outside, and then I even took and cut a little disc the size of the inside and made a damper with a popsicle stick just to try to control it. But those 12 briquettes will last 2 hours inside there. Whereas,
Without the damper?
yeah, even without the damper. But you try to do that with a Dutch oven, and you're double the briquettes on the top than you are on the bottom, and you'll change the briquettes every 30 minutes, 45 minutes tops, right? And so to cook a Dutch oven worth of food or lasagna like that, you're going to use 10 on the bottom, 15 or 20 on the top, and do that twice. So you're 50 briquettes to cook a meal in a Dutch oven, where with that you're 12 briquettes. And there's enough briquettes left over that you take that lasagna off and you can throw rolls on, or whatever.
And if you want to cook a roast?
Yeah, cook a roast. We'll take a roast and put a roast in a deep pan, put potatoes and carrots around it, a little bit of water, and then once it starts cooking, it'll maintain its own moisture, just like you do in the oven. And so it's nothing new as far as learning how to cook. You're doing everything that you would, just like you do in the oven, same pans and everything, just like you would in the oven in the house. You're just using a different heat source, and you're doing it outside.
How long would it take a roast, and about what size approximately?
Oh, crud. I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
But if it takes 3 hours to cook, then you're going to want to replace or add additional 12 briquettes.
Because they're good for about 2 weeks.
About an hour and a
Yeah,
half.
hour and a half, 2 hours.
Quicker than that.
3 hours?
Yeah. Depends.
Oh, then if you want to cook a turkey.
I have to do longer. So,
Would they fit in there?
You gotta get a bigger apple box. So we're going to make a apple cobbler.
apple cover.
Yes, this is like camping style.
Alright, okay, that'll eat.
Okay, come over here, and you get to help do it. So this menu is basically made with 2 cans of apple filling, pie filling, box, the yellow cake box.
Yeah, can you put it in here?
So empty both cans into that 9 by 13 pan.
Anybody ever done a Dutch oven cobbler?
No, I've never done one.
This is
Okay.
the same thing you do for Dutch oven, guys.
All right, so you put
How
the
many?
cans first.
How do you cook it? How do you do it? What's your recipe?
Which kind?
We need a
Oh,
can of
Sandy.
Fanta,
Sandy,
orange soda.
We might need a
Make it really
spoon.
Yeah.
So I brought Sprite.
Right.
We got Sprite.
Butter, cinnamon.
Yeah, we'll need something to
She's gonna get it.
scoop these into. Is
Here,
this trash?
throw it right here.
Right now, Sprite. Oh yeah, we need butter and a knife. So you need to drop some butter on top of it once you get it all put together.
Yeah, these not going to come out easy.
We'll get you a spoon.
But it works. I mean, trust me, it works.
Oh. I made it on Friday night on the 4th of July, or is it Thursday night? And we made it with the
Peaches and spice cake mix, or
no, we did the berry one.
cherries and
No, the other one.
Blueberry.
Blueberries, and what was the cake mix? It was the blueberries
lemon.
Yeah, we'll need
and the lemon cake
Here,
mix.
you might as well help me a little
That was
bit.
a good combination.
Cut this open.
Blueberry pie
Blueberry.
filling.
Do that last.
Yeah, we'll
Just-
put in last.
Okay.
Okay, and they spread out evenly.
Yeah, just
How long did it start your briquettes? Did you group them and then spread them out?
yeah, just start them like you would for anything else, except you only do a dozen of them.
Start what?
Your briquettes.
Oh, okay, so you start them in your little briquette thingy?
Yeah.
And how long does it take? She asked how long it takes to get them hot.
Oh, 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay,
I
and
mean,
then you spread them out after they
yeah.
heat it up in that little pan
Right.
thing. So you start 'em in
Do
the
you
briquette.
use the self-lighting stuff, or
You can. You can. I mean, again, it's
stink up your food more?
well, yeah. I don't know.
Talk about how to start briquettes. I know how to start lots of fires, but I'm not very good with charcoal.
I mean, on the briquettes, it's a briquette starter, right? And that's all it is the briquettes are down inside, and we took a torch and put a torch up underneath it to get them started.
So you just torch the charcoal?
Yeah, where's the torture at? You could use a Hawaiian candle. It's a wood flower. That's right.
All right, now, what's the next piece?
Dump the cake mix on dry.
Sprinkle it on top.
Just sprinkle it even.
Evenly as much as possible.
Let me remind you that I do no cooking at home.
And then, this is going to be proof of what it's going to be okay recording of this now, so we can show your wife
Well,
you
this-
know how to cook.
She won't believe it. I can cook popcorn.
Now put the slice of butter on it.
Evenly?
Spread
Yep.
it out. There's only 5 pieces or something.
Oh, there's only 5 pieces.
Oh, we're only doing half a cube?
Well, we can make
So-
it extra yummy. We'll put on.
When I start my charcoal, I use a number 10 can. He's got a store-bought charcoal starter. I took a number 10 can and took a can opener and did the triangles around the bottom of it. Then I took the lid off the number 10 can,
6 pieces.
and where a number 10 can's got ribs in it,
Half of
I run a screw, 3 or 4 screws in one rib. Then I took the lid or the top of the can and
Soda pop.
poked a bunch of holes in it,
actual soda pop.
and then I dropped it down inside, and then I put another screw in the next rib up so that it would keep that lid from falling out when you dumped it over. So a number 10 can works for and then a number 10 can also actually fix a piece of 6-inch duct fits right in it. So once you start the charcoal, you put that on the top and you get enough draft because heat rises, right? That you'll get flames that'll come clear out the top.
Yeah, it's
3
about
minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, then your charcoal's ready to go. So it doesn't take a long time.
The last step is to go on this tinfoil, and then we'll
But
And
a
then
regular,
we put it on top.
that's up.
right? So
So we get
yeah, just set it.
12 pieces.
Yep,
Well,
just set it on.
The tin foil?
So just showing
Yeah, you can put the tinfoil on it
how
after it's on.
12 pieces are put on. So wait until those charcoal are nice and white on it. I made the mistake of
Is it early?
doing it too early, and 4 of my briquettes didn't stay lit, so my temperature didn't stay at 350. So every briquette needs about how much temperature?
About 30 degrees.
About 30 degrees of temperature. So if you wanted to go to 380, you throw another briquette in.
Right.
All right, where's my apple box top?
Oh, down there on the picnic table.
You gotta go get your box. It's down at the end. The
Way
table-
down there?
Yeah, we're all
That's stacked down there on the.
So tell everybody what you brought with you.
So I brought the cook racks. I brought boxes. I brought these. I made these. We didn't really do it, but I went to Cal Ranch and bought a griddle that fits on the top of that. And then all that is a shield to help keep the heat underneath the griddle. And now you're cooking hamburgers with charcoal. You can scramble eggs. I mean,
Boil water.
you can boil water. That right there fits in between the grates, in between the 2 pieces of expanded metal, to help keep the heat underneath your pot. And so now you're cooking with a skillet, same skillet you're using inside the house on the top of the stove. You're cooking, now you're using charcoal to cook with.
So you made those, but my wife found this in our house, which also works. Sandy, what is that?
Springform pan.
It's a what?
It's a springform pan for cheesecake.
It's for cheesecake, didn't you?
So you,
Or it's a springform pan.
but anything that you can take and just kind of concentrate that heat underneath whatever you're cooking with, whether it's a skittle or boiling water in a pot or soup, doesn't matter. Again, you're just changing your heat source from an electric stove or your oven or gas, whatever, to charcoal.
Now at this point, how do you control the temperature?
You don't.
You don't need to.
Well, I mean, if you're going to cook in the house in the oven, you don't change the temperature.
You know, once
Right.
set up. I
Once
guess-
you turn on the oven at 350 and that's what you cook at, then that's what you cook at, and you don't change the temperature in the oven.
This would be hotter if you had more briquettes, I assume.
Yeah, so you
Cooler
just
if you had less.
right. So if you get about 30 degrees per briquette, and you want a 350 degree oven, then you throw in 12 briquettes. If you want it 425, then
Multiply
what's
it.
that? 16.
Yeah. Just calculate how many more briquettes you need at
Yeah.
30 degrees.
If you get 30 degrees per briquette, then just do the math. And that's all there is to it. Your charcoal just goes so much further, and you're not cooking on the ground.
One of the other benefits I liked about this device is that we can easily throw it in our car. If I was going to try and take my barbecue with me because I had to bug out, that doesn't fit in my Land Cruiser. This fits in my Land Cruiser and I can cook. With a big bag of charcoal briquettes, I can cook for a long time.
Yeah.
How do you store your briquettes so that they stay good?
Keep them dry. I've got a bag of briquettes that I use every now and then that is got to be 35 years old.
Really?
Yeah. And they're Max Light.
When does the pipe go into the box?
Any time. I mean,
So do you have to use one? Or?
no.
Oh, okay.
No. I mean, it just again, you're just trying to keep air to the briquettes so they don't smother and die off. And
So that's its purpose.
yeah, I mean, a paper towel roll works great, and the holes that I cut in the top are a little bit bigger than a paper towel roll. I mean, they're a lot bigger than that, but you just add tape, and this is just HVAC tape that's around the corners of the box, just to try to help it. I mean, a roll of HVAC tape is good because as you take the box on and off, you're going to scratch the foil on the inside, and that exposed cardboard, I've always been concerned that the exposed cardboard will catch on fire. Now, we've been cooking with boxes for, I'd guess, 5 or 6 years. I've never burned a box yet. And so, one, I didn't cover the inside of the box probably as soon as I should have, and it's charred, the inside of the box. But I've never caught a box on fire yet. Your briquettes, you want to keep them away from the box, because if you get them right out to the edge of that piece of expanded metal, then they're closer to the box. And so just keep them in from the edge so you don't catch your box on fire. Okay.
So Aaron, check the temp.
And what are you using to check?
A meat thermometer,
Oh, really?
And you just stick the probe down in it, huh? Through the hole?
just like that.
Oh, is that what you did? Oh, I just thought it was.
I mean, I found a thermometer. It might have been at Macy's, and it's got the probe on it, and so just stab it through the side of the box, and that works.
Right now it's at 285.
Yeah, it's 286, 87.
It's climbing.
So you don't do preheat with this, you just stick it in?
You can.
could
You don't have to,
just watch,
yeah.
but not necessarily.
Yeah, the cobblers are very forgiving.
My husband swears preheating's for the birds.
Yeah, I mean,
So the instructions were to cook it for is an hour, and then take the lid off, or the foil off, and then let it cook for another half hour to brown the top.
right.
I couldn't wait that long. We started serving it up earlier than that, and we might serve it up earlier tonight too, just because our meeting's only for an hour and a half, and my battery won't last that long.
But seriously, if you can cook it in your oven in the house, you can cook it under a box, as long as the panel fit, right? But if you can cook it in your oven in the house, you can cook it right there.
It's 301 degrees right now.
Yeah. I mean, cheesy potatoes. I don't know if everybody calls them funeral potatoes. Sunny side, carrots and potatoes, slathered in butter. Again, if you can cook it in the house in the oven, you can cook it right there, because all you're doing is changing your heat source from an electric oven to charcoal.
How does bread work?
We should probably
Great.
take the lasagna out. It's been more than 5 minutes.
Is that hot?
A little hot. All right. So let's see if the cheese is melted.
I'll grab it.
Not burnt. That's the important part.
Yeah.
All right.
Doesn't need more time. You gotta test it.
I don't think we need to test it.
So, I mean, you look at those briquettes, and you still got
Yeah,
30
still got-
minutes.
still got cooking
You can
time.
still got 30 minutes out of those briquettes.
Yeah, get some popcorn. A serving spoon?
Should we take it inside?
Easy. Okay. So, while that's cooking, is there any other questions on apple box ovens that anybody else has before we modify the discussion a little bit?
Now you're selling them for $150?
For the non-members, 150. For the members, it's 130.
And what comes with it? Just
The whole thing?
the whole
The
thing?
only thing that didn't come with it is the my wife's snorkel.
He's got to put that back into the sink when we're done.
All that?
Yes.
Don't run the water.
Yes, this and the apple box. Yes. So,
Not the thermostat. You gotta get on the thermostat.
yes, you gotta get your own thermostat.
Pick it up from the side.
Make your own snorkel.
Oh, it's just the plastic.
Yes, you can make your own snorkel, and you can also you made a dampener on it too when you made it. What's the benefit of doing the dampener?
Just slows it down. I mean, again, we've never gone to the science to try to see how much of a difference it makes, but we felt like the damper made the charcoal last longer, just because it slows down how much oxygen they can get.
All right, well, Sandy is going to be dispersing some samples of lasagna if anybody's interested. I'm going to have Maria come over, or so Rob and Maria have bought another type of stove that you can use to cook out in the middle of nowhere, and it's called a rocket stove. Anybody know what that is?
I've heard of it.
Heard of them? All right, well, we're going to show you a real live one. He's going to assemble it so you can see what it looks like. There's a lot of other variations of rocket stoves that are for sale on the internet. And what we're going to do is create a very high concentrated amount of heat with a very limited amount of wood. Now, because of the fire ban in Woodland Hills, we're not going to let it go on fire because it will kick out a flame probably a foot high.
Really?
Yes.
As long as you can put a lid over it. You know,
Oh.
you gotta be able to put a lid. Have a lid that will close it off.
We have our distinguished member of the Woodland Hills Fire Department helping us with understanding the rules.
So the lid, does it extinguish it, or
Like-
does it just keep the?
Like the flame with a,
Just keep the
if
flame
that
from
was,
coming up. Yeah.
if that was propane, so you can close the lid down on it,
You're okay.
you're okay.
And is it the same with the briquets? Is the lid on, is that legal?
My understanding, I'll qualify it, my understanding, if you can put a lid on it and close it off, you're okay.
Okay, so the apple box would be okay.
Yep.
This would be too if we had some kind of lid to go over the top.
Won't ask for a general opinion, am I correct?
I would say, yeah.
Gotta be able to put the lid on it.
All right, so do we have a lid we can put on this, or do we want to bother with it?
Nah, I'll just kind of show you what we do. So these rocket stoves, the technology is basically, it's got a dampener down here at the bottom, which the airflow comes in. You create your little, there's a little rack down in there. And really, you can cook a meal with this. It's amazing how hot these get, and how fast they get, and how well they burn. They burn pretty much smokeless. They don't shoot off sparks. And this is your dampener on the bottom. You can control how much air is flowing into the bottom and up to the grate inside. And you can use a different variety of ways to start them. I use these little things, they're like little wax cotton balls. Start that, and literally you put these right on top of it down inside there. It'll start in 30 seconds, and it will burn. And it is amazing how hot it will get right here. So you can cook eggs, boil water, anything that you want it to do. And you don't need to go out and try to find a bunch of firewood. You can anywhere you go, you can find
Twigs.
you know, twigs, and literally twigs, and you can just keep feeding them on in there. You can get bigger ones and start getting them in there, but you start them with little small ones, and this will probably burn 15 minutes, you know. So they're pretty easy. So that's just one style. This is another kind of a more portable style. Yeah, this has a lot of different configurations. This is called a firebox.
And can you get these on like an Amazon,
Yeah.
already made up like this?
Yeah.
We're going to have links on the Be Ready website, so you can actually click on the link and take you straight to the product where this is
So
bought.
I'm sure this one's more affordable than that one. No,
Yeah,
they're
but this-
about the same.
So this is a lot
Really?
bigger.
Oh, feel how heavy it is.
So between the stove and the oven, you've got all your cooking.
Yeah, you got all your cooking that you and you can also use charcoal in these. If you use charcoal in these, you close this one right here. You can still use this for your dampener. This one closes. You just drop your charcoal down the side, throw in some lighter fluid, drop in a match, or you could light it from here, and this could be a charcoal stove.
And how much was this on Amazon?
$70, $80.
Something like that. Yeah.
This one, I think we bought it like PrepperCon or something. That's why I don't remember how much it was. But I have to take pictures like this. Yes, we went back.
That's the small one.
Wait, hold it again. Sorry. Thank you.
So what's this called again, a volcano stove?
Rocket stove.
Rocket stove.
I guess you could
Which
call
one's
it
this one?
volcano stove too.
Is there-
I've heard that used.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
And
There
it
is
comes
a
with
volcano
different.
brand.
It comes with different things. So this is where you can boil water. This little top. This one you set it up and it's like a grill, and then this is like a damper thing.
You can
It has
actually
different
build this
configurations.
style of fire. You could build it in the ground. You could build it in sand, You build your tunnel, and you have your main channel that goes down, and your tunnel for your air, and it's amazing. So you don't always just need a stove, you know, you just use the technology.
Seen them done with logs, hollowed out
Mhm.
logs.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Well, this is more backpacking, the little one. You
Yeah.
Yeah.
Backpack that easy.
Yeah,
The bigger one, that would be, you'd have to have a campsite, probably.
yeah. That's kind of heavy, so you wouldn't
It is
Backpack
cast
with
iron.
you wouldn't
so
want
it's
to
heavy.
walk a long ways with that. So it's just another method to cook outside and with charcoal or sticks, you know.
And it has a bottom in it, so all of the embers fall down to the bottom.
And it captures all the embers.
Yeah, yeah. So you can tip it and dump them out.
Rocket stoves are one of those secrets that preppers are pretty popular with because it burns the smoke almost completely gone. And one of the benefits of keeping a low profile in a disaster situation, if people are looking for a free meal, is where's the fires at? Who's cooking? So consider the fact that you might want to not tell everybody where you're at. Okay?
So when we did light it, there was a little bit of black smoke, but it wasn't until we kind of started extinguishing things that any white smoke
Okay.
came off. So there was zero smoke.
Yes, it does a very efficient job of burning off its exhaust. There's another device called a masonry stove, which you can put in your house, which basically accomplishes the same thing by recirculating the fumes from the fire and recirculating within the chimney, heating up all the masonry stones, masonry of your chimney, so it can radiate the heat throughout the day in your house. And outside the chimney is very little smoke at all, because it basically gets consumed as it passes through all the different.
So it's an efficient way, because we have a wood-burning fireplace.
It's way more efficient
So
than a wood
it'd
burning.
be more efficient using the same structure,
Correct.
using this. It'd be handy to
So
get a lead on that.
So the one company that I found that actually built a kit that you can put in your house and build most of it yourself, they also have a kit where you basically can build a pizza oven above your fire pit area, because it'll heat the pizza oven up to like 600 degrees for a short period of time, and then it stays around 350 for another couple hours. And it's a way that you can actually cook in your house as well. But this masonry stove will actually heat about 2,000 square foot house. So it's just a.
You just put it in your regular fireplace.
Well, would it work in a gas type fireplace?
You have to take out the gas fireplace as long as it should be able to fit inside that space.
But it's the flue is built different in a gas
The
versus
flue is
a
completely built
wood.
different, yes. So we'll have a link on that also to our website, to the company who sells
So
those
one
kits.
more time, we're going to a gas fireplace?
No, you would take out your wood stove, like the one I've got,
You'd have to have a wood
and then I
stove.
could build a masonry stove in its place.
A gas fireplace, the flues are only max out about 900 degrees, where solid fuel will hit 18 to 2100.
And the other benefit is that these stoves only, the masonry stoves, if you just lit it one time in the morning and you let the fire die out, and the captured heat will disperse throughout the house throughout the day, and at nighttime you light the fire one more time, and that'll keep the house warm throughout the evening. So it uses a lot less firewood.
Than a regular wood.
Probably uses 80% less firewood than a regular wood burning stove.
So I found this on Amazon and it's 107.
107.
Inflation, sorry.
Yeah. Alright.
And it can get here by Wednesday.
The black one,
Yeah.
what brand is it?
It's called Lions Life Camping Rocket Stove.
For the rocket stove.
I'll post everything tomorrow.
Yeah,
And I
pretty
also have
much
Ken's list for all the water treatment stuff.
Yeah, the water totes.
all the
Yes.
parts.
Yeah.
Very good.
You think about that rocket stove and a 5-gallon bucket, and you take a piece of 4-inch dryer vent and put a 90 on the bottom of it, or a T, and the branch comes out. You slide a piece of metal in there so that it fits the widest part of your circle, right? So the top half is where your wood goes in, the bottom half is where it drafts and gets the air. You fill that bucket with cement around that dryer vent, and now you've got a rocket stove. not the concrete, not through the concrete.
But concrete.
I mean, even if it does melt away, you still got a concrete block that's not going to melt.
But
Well, I
does it
will
have to
say
come with a
in
handy
survival
dandy bag?
training, they taught us to build the stoves like that in the ground with your little tunnel,
Yeah.
so that you could be in a survival situation and not have any smoke.
The flames don't show up too much either, do they?
No, because you just build little fires.
Yeah, just little fires. All right. Anybody else have any questions regarding these alternative ways of cooking food for your family during a major disaster? Did it help anything? Help anybody?
Very good.
Okay.
I got one question. Can anything be converted with these with a tank of propane? I mean, could you
As
use
a fuel source?
propane to fuel anything, or this is really meant for natural products, charcoal or wood?
This is after your propane runs out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go down. Yeah.
When you can't go to
After
the
your
store and
barbecue
get it
stops
anymore.
working because you're out of propane.
Yeah.
Or the smoke chips.
Yeah. Exactly.
Very good point.
Oh, would pellets work in there too? Like on a pellet stove?
I don't know. They might. Yeah. I mean, that's a fire source. It works in treaders. I mean, that might work.
As long as you get the pellets started,
You got to get them. Yeah, it's not getting started.
they probably start
Yeah.
harder than charcoal, don't they?
The don't triggers have their own little ignition system that lights them and keeps them going.
Yeah, they do.
I'll show them those wax things. They
Alright.
burn for like 5 minutes.
One of the nice things, if I could, one of the nice things about a rocket stove is if you've got sticks that are coming clear out here, it only burns right there. Because your draft is coming in the bottom and that's where it's lit. And so as it burns, you're just pushing those sticks in further and further so that your fire is still right here in the center.
That's a great point.
I got a son of them, if anybody wants it. I'd sell it cheap.
Yeah, you
It
sell
would
it
work
cheap?
really well this week.
Yeah, I will.
Tell us about your cotton balls.
They're just cotton balls with melted wax in them. Where did they go?
You use melted wax? We use Vaseline. on
You
ours.
bought them that
No,
way?
that says
Yeah,
melted wax.
it's just a
Yeah, it's just
red
bought
light
in
fireflies.
Vaseline. I make my own with Vaseline
I
and
don't know where
cotton
we got
balls.
it. It's probably down at Sophos, I guess, maybe.
Are they still there?
Until the 30th.
They're up in the attic
He's
or upstairs.
He's working, yeah, it's basically an online business now.
Hot wax in there or something. And it comes with like a little, you know,
Starter.
starter,
You could
yeah.
just melt down a candle and pour some wax over a
Kinda make
cotton
it
ball.
Is that it?
Yeah.
And you were saying you do what?
Vaseline,
Yeah.
cotton balls, and just rub Vaseline
Yeah.
into them.
We've used them as
That's
well.
fire starter.
It works great.
Yeah.
You
Put them
want
in
something that's
medicine
gonna burn
bottles.
for a long time.
Fire.
Keep the fire going.
Well, I don't like the lighter fluid 'cause it's
Yeah.
All right.
You can also take the cardboard egg cartons and fill them with paraffin and cut them apart. Make fire starters.
Is there any reason to save newspapers? We did save newspapers.
Yeah, it's
Unless
burnable.
you read them.
Oh, okay.
They still make newspapers?
Do I throw them away?
You
or do I-
you can wipe with them.
Yeah. I keep a big stack too, don't worry.
Yeah.
Because everything's gonna eventually run out, so.
Your dryer
One-
lint. Keep your dryer lint in your old toilet paper rolls.
Dryer, that's very good.
That's a good way to start.
Let's talk about charcoal. Let's talk about char cloth real quick. Tell us how you make char cloth and what it's for.
Charred cloth just for a fire starter. It's just denim. I was going to bring you some, but I didn't. Forgot.
Tell everybody what you
I've saved all my old jeans that have worn out, and then I'll sit down and watch a TV show or something and just cut them up into small pieces so they fit inside of a tin, like an Altoids can. Or we bought some gingerbread cookies at Christmas time one time, and they came in a little metal tin. So you cut the charred cloth so that it fits that tin. You fill up the tin and then some so that when you squeeze it, you've packed it in there tight. You wire it together and then throw it in the fire. And when it quits smoking, it's charred cloth. And that's all it takes.
So when you pull it out, does it crumble or?
Yeah. Just like charred cloth.
I've never
Yeah.
been familiar with charred cloth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so you take a flint and steel, you take and you catch a spark on it, you scrape it off, and you catch a spark on that charred cloth, and then you blow on it, and it'll light something you know, it'll start tin or twine. You take a piece of twine and you unravel it and you spread it apart so that it's really fine hairs with lots of air around it. It's like a grass fire. Tall grass burns super fast, right? Because there's not much fuel and there's plenty of air. And so I mean, how fast can a grass fire burn?
Faster than you can run.
50 mile an hour.
I've been chased at over 45.
Yeah. But you get a really light
Right.
fuel, so it's not heavy like a log would be. You take twine, dryer lint, it all works. And you take a piece of char cloth and you unravel a bunch of twine and you make a little nest out of it. You kind of, like a bird's nest, you take a piece of charred cloth and you put it in the center of it, you catch a spark on it, and then you fold it up and you just blow on it, and 2 breaths and it'll be burning. Yeah.
So where would you buy twine? What kind of twine?
Cow
are we
ranch.
talking? So
It's got
not the stuff they
Garden
went through the
twine?
baling hay that's now plasticized too.
No, like garden twine, that's rope.
Garden twine rope.
Okay.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and we'll end the recording today. Thank you very much, Corbett, for sharing your wisdom, and Rob and Maria for sharing your rocket stoves with everybody. Thank you everybody for coming tonight, and we'll have hope you guys have a good month, and we'll see you back here in August.